by an Australian couple known for their wild adventures here on YouTube. And here is one of their craziest moments yet. Swimming with this magnificent tiger shark. The way the shark turns around at the end is absolute hair-raising. Beachgoers help a very large mako shark back to the ocean. Just look at that mouth full of razor-sharp teeth. Yet, people are still willing to help, and that's such a great thing to see.
Oh my... Babe, it's too dangerous. Don't be doing that.
The mako is also an endangered species, mostly due to overfishing demand for shark fins and meat. So the fact that these wonderful people saved one is definitely a net positive for the ocean. For those who might be a bit sensitive to the harshness of nature, you may want to skip this clip. Filmed in Cape Cod, a seal has an unfortunate encounter with a great white shark. The seal initially escaped, but the poor sea creature very likely died soon later from its injuries. The family that recorded the incident saw firsthand how brutal the realities of nature truly are. This beautiful day at Navarre Beach in Florida was cut short after a shark was spotted swimming in very shallow waters.
Where did it go? Where did it go? There's somebody still out there. They're still out there.
Considering how many people are in the water, I think everyone was very fortunate this shark wasn't too hungry. An interesting fun fact for you, on average, Florida represents 44% of the shark bites recorded in the US and 23% worldwide, which makes it number one in global charts regarding shark attacks. Bystanders are quite angry and frustrated as they try to warn a swimmer of the Grim Reaper heading straight for him. Fortunately for this lone wanderer, even if he got himself chewed on, hammerheads haven't been responsible for a fatality in the past century. So it's likely he would have survived. He might just be heading home not all in one piece. Imagine holding out and offering a doggy snack to your new puppy, but as it approaches, you sucker punch it in the face. Well, that's kind of what is happening here. Some scuba divers that I believe are doing some research go down into the watery depths in Fiji to feed some bull sharks. But when one of them gets too close, the diver squares up and puts his boxing skills to good use, punching the shark and putting it in its place. Sharks are just going wild at Cape Cod. Here is another video of surfers and swimmers fleeing the beach as a shark finds itself a delicious snack. It's a bit hard to tell, but it seems that the snack happened to be a seal. Although, it might be one of the surfers. Just kidding.
Give it some room, give it some room, give it some room.
Men on a fishing trip off the coast of Everglades City in Florida witnessed quite the spectacle as they record a feeding frenzy with 4 bull sharks.
Sharks, they're killing some. There's a dolphin killing some. Oh, dang it. We've got shark problems. Freaking sharks. There's a bunch of them. They're right on top of it. They're eating that dolphin.
Dolphins are highly intelligent and often band together in groups to defend themselves. But occasionally, they can get caught out, which often results in them becoming lunch for large species of sharks such as tiger sharks and great whites. Sharks and dolphins also share the same hunting areas, leading to occasional skirmishes over prey. A juvenile great white is caught on camera suckling a couple men fishing in Tauranga Harbour, New Zealand. The beautiful beast isn't super terrifying just yet. Great white shark pups are typically born at about 4 to 5 feet in length and weigh around 50 to 70 pounds. By the end of their first year, they can grow approximately 6 to 7 feet and weigh between 150 to 200 pounds. While parasailing high above Florida's ocean, three friends were having the time of their lives until they spotted a bunch of sharks swimming below them. They started screaming, Now look, we shouldn't really judge, as I'm sure it is difficult to think clearly in this kind of situation. But surely at least one of these girls has some common sense about sharks. You're not supposed to panic and splash around because that just mimics a seal and makes the shark much more likely to mistake you for one. But if pretending to be a seal was an Olympic sport, these girls would likely win gold. But nevertheless, the girls were unharmed, with each of them finishing the day with a great story to tell. Here is the infamous clip of Australian surfer Mick Fanning getting as personal as he possibly can with a great white. The three-time world champion was struck by the shark from behind and knocked off his board. He escaped unharmed, but upon returning to Australia, he reflected on the incident.
Kicked me off, but then it was still there going and I was still attached to my board and I felt like I punched it a couple of times.
In interviews, Fanning acknowledged the psychological changes that followed the attack. And of course, who wouldn't suffer through some mental anguish after experiencing something like that? If it was me, I would probably need to do some time sitting in a straitjacket before I could even look at the beach again.
Mate, I'm happy to not even compete ever again. Like, seriously, like to walk away from that, I'm just so stoked. And oh man.
Well, I guess you don't need to be swimming to experience a shark attack. A man parasailing in the Red Sea had a terrifying encounter when a shark leaped out of the water and attacked him. The unidentified man was about a kilometer off the coast when the shark struck. He suffered several flesh wounds, including a couple torn tendons and multiple lacerations. It's unclear what species of shark it was. Let me know what you think it may have been in the comments below. A couple on vacation was walking along the beach with their camera when they noticed something super interesting in the crystal clear water. Looks like that hammerhead is going to need to find something else for lunch, as the manta ray was just too quick. And honestly, I had no idea manta rays could swim that quickly. I always thought they just slowly glided along the water. I guess you learn something new every day. On a rare sunny day off the Irish coast, very lucky Colin here found himself surrounded by a multitude of basking sharks. And the joy he has from this experience just puts a smile on my face.
When they're right on the surface, you can sometimes get the nose. Look at that.
Everything here is just amazing. The stunning green mountains, the beautiful blue water, and all of it caught on camera for us to enjoy. Check out this amazing shot of what looks to be a loving basking shark couple, swimming together and living their best life. Speaking of love, here is a tip that might do well for you. When looking for that special person, find yourself someone that looks at you the same way Colin looks at these sharks. Now this ain't a shark, but this group of friends thought it was, and who could blame them? If I see a fin popping out of the water and heading straight for me, I'm definitely going to assume it's a shark, followed by me getting out of there as quick as possible.
Get out of the water! Get out of the water! Go, 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 go! Oh my god.
Just imagine going for your morning walk along the river and you see a fin like this just slowly cruising underneath the water. It's both an awesome and quite terrifying moment.
You want to be different. So, and what can you say about what's going on next?
I don't speak Spanish, but I understand every word coming out from this guy.
¡Yay! ¡Viene un tiburón! ¡Ay, se lo va a comer!
These two tourists in Cuba probably thought they were incredibly lucky to get the beach to themselves. Unfortunately, that just made the options for this hammerhead's lunch to be far fewer. Fortunately, it was just a hammerhead, which is typically a less aggressive shark species. But had it been a great white or a bull shark, this may have ended up becoming a permanent vacation.
Fucking hell.
Pull. I think you just beat mine. Right. Hold that to keep pressure on it.
The Australian city of Brisbane is known as the River City, but many are unaware of what lurks beneath its rivers. Bull sharks are one of the few shark species that can survive in both saltwater and freshwater. They regularly swim up the Brisbane River and have been known to feed on Brisbane's human residents from time to time.
On the end of his line, a 2.8.
Bigger than me, brother. Big bull.
Jake and his mate have been hoping to catch one, hooking it on a wire line.
I've hooked a couple of them and I couldn't stop them. And yeah, I wasn't letting this one get
Clumsy
away.
effort to get this bull shark back in the water.
Go on. Yes.
Laying on a small raft in the hopes of capturing a solid shot of a great white breaching the water probably has some danger linked to it, but I must admit it does look pretty damn fun. And just in case you're wondering, those seals you see being used as a bait are fake. Photographers and researchers sometimes use fake seals to attract great white sharks as the shape and size better fits their typical prey.
Increíble.
Bigger, and I was like, that is for sure 100% a great white. As I could as she went by, and then she just disappeared back off the drop, and then I was like shaking.
So the only time that you see aggressive behavior is typically when they're actively foraging.
Here is two of a group of 12 that were spotted in Kaliso Bay. The basking shark is the second largest fish in the world, often reaching lengths up to 40 feet, and Ireland's waters are one of the best places to spot these gentle giants. James McCarthy was testing his new drone when he ended up capturing this phenomenal footage. A great white is spotted swimming through a harbour in Nova Scotia of all places. Nova Scotia's coastal areas host fairly large seal populations, which serve as a primary food source for great whites. Don't let the small size fool you. Some of the smaller sharks can still have enough chomp to take off a finger or two. 11-year-old Billy Ray shows amazing compassion and is incredibly gentle, making sure not to injure or hurt the shark during the rescue.
Once Billy gets to the last big rock, she releases the shark back into the water, where it seems to happily swim.